we are also told that on social media video, we can hear the audio where an audience member asked Kirk about mass shooters in America right before the gunshot. An audience member says, "Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?" Kirk says, "Counting or not counting gang violence," and that is when that single shot was fired. I want to bring back Bob Costa here. Kirk has a massive following, Robert, and he is on the radar of a lot of people in politics.
He is, and we saw in recent minutes the California governor, a Democrat, Gavin Newsom, widely considered a major possible candidate for the presidency in 2028, writing on social media that he extends his prayers and his thoughts to the family, and that he called this disgusting, vile, and reprehensible to happen in the United States of America. He said we must reject political violence in every form. That's from California Governor Gavin Newsom. What's notable here is that Governor Newsom is someone who Charlie Kirk has engaged with in a podcast conversation. And Kirk is on the front lines of not only having these rallies like he did today in Utah, but he is someone who is going toe-to-toe with people of different views, like Governor Newsom, in a podcast setting. And if you watch Kirk, he can be a fiery presence on stage, but often in the podcast or the more conversational format, he's quite muted and almost low-key, trying to banter back and forth to make his points, calmly really going into his own argument. And so you see in that statement from Newsom, not just a statement from a Democratic politician decrying violence, but he has engaged and interacted with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk has these relationships, as we've talked about on the right. He has the relationships with his friends. He has his wife, Erica, a son and a daughter. He's a father, an activist. He's a Republican and a conservative. He's also someone who Democrats have talked to in different settings in recent years. And it shows a respect for Kirk from the left. Newsom doesn't just give his time to anyone. He is a very powerful, influential figure in the Democratic Party. He took time to talk to Kirk because he knew that Kirk, I'm told, had influence on the right, had influence in the country. And that, more than a lot, really speaks to Kirk's power in this country. He's a politically powerful person, not only because President Donald Trump has put his hand on Kirk's shoulder and said, this is one of my guys, this is one of my key allies, but Democrats have recognized Kirk as someone who's rising and someone who has to be engaged with if they, too, want to be major figures.
Bob, we're talking about a guy who is 31 years old, and it was in 2012, so 13 years ago, that he founded Turning Point USA, his political organization that has grown by leaps and bounds. And we're getting from their chief marketing officer this statement. He was shot in the neck. He's at the hospital, and it doesn't look good. That's the update we're getting right now on Charlie Kirk's condition, that it does not look good. Ed O'Keefe, millions of people follow this man and love him, and now this.
Yeah, this is a really distressing development, obviously, for his followers and really for anyone who's concerned about how political discourse is being carried out in this country now. And as Sam said earlier, political violence has always been part of our history, but that doesn't make it acceptable in any way. And, you know, again, if you're somebody who's learning about this and is not familiar with Charlie Kirk's work, again, an incredibly young guy, someone is, and I appreciate Bob bringing this up, that has shown great personal joy and excitement in being engaged in the process. That's what we should hope all young people are doing as they engage in the American political process and system, right? Is to have joy and hope and aspirations, whether you agree or disagree with them at all. But much like labor leaders in this country, religious figures, civil rights leaders through the decades, this is someone who's been able to galvanize people on behalf of certain political figures or certain parties and to get them to turn out. And that's what makes him so influential. And what has made him so intriguing is that he's done it at such a young age and in the digital space, when those of us in the media and in elected politics are trying to sort out, how do we reach people? How do we get them to turn out for our events? How do we get them to donate? How do we get them to vote? Kirk has done that, and he's done it across radio. He's done it across television appearances, through podcasting, and through personally engaging leaders in the Republican Party who he's come to meet and who he's come to influence. And again, for those that have joined us later in this coverage, to reiterate the influence that Kirk has had over the Trump movement, but particularly the second Trump administration. We know this was somebody who met frequently with the president-elect last year after the election to go through potential cabinet selections and say, yes, that person, not that person. Send that person to a different department. Put this person up for that job. Someone who rallied skeptical Republicans to the side of, for example, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and encouraged or put pressure on them to support him earlier this year when there were questions about his qualifications. Someone with incredible influence at the White House, someone who's visited the White House hundreds of times and who today is very much in the thoughts of those that work in the West Wing.
And so strikingly young, Ed, 31 years old. He's been at this for at least 13 years, founding Turning Point USA back in 2012. Again, from his marketing people, this statement. He was shot in the neck. He's at the hospital. It does not look good at this point. So we will continue to monitor his condition as best we can as we move forward here. We want to bring you the words of another eyewitness on the phone right now, Taylor Dufour. He was at the event with his wife. Taylor, what did you see? What did you hear? And where are you now?
I'm in our vehicle. We're still in the parking lot. We can't get out now. We were about 30 feet to the side of him, actually almost directly in line of the shot, is what it looks like from looking at videos. Everything was great. The conversation was not heated or anything. And then, yeah, next thing you know, we heard one shot fired, and everybody just dropped down and kind of started to go into panic mode. So my first thought was get my wife to the ground and lay on top of her and help those around us if they needed.
I can imagine just pandemonium, panic, and so forth. Did you see what happened to Charlie as he got shot and went down?
I actually didn't see it actually happen, but I did look over as he was still in his chair falling. I could see a lot of blood coming out of his neck.
EMS rushing to the scene?
Yeah. I mean, the police, everybody, that works in that industry, they were great. They got right to work, and we appreciate all those.
What was going through your mind? You said 1 second they were debating politics in a civilized way, and then this. What were you thinking as this was happening?
We actually, me and my wife have talked about that. It's such a great group of people that come together to listen to him, the joy and the happiness he brings to people, and the things that he talks about. And on the way there, we were talking about how cool it is that he doesn't have to live in the fear of having bulletproof glass around him and everything, because the people are so great that surround those events.
And how are you feeling right now? What's your main thought?
I'm actually upset. I'm sad that anybody could hate someone this bad, and that's such a great, people coming together regardless of political views. It's we're all coming together to build America up, make America a better place. And then we have this, like how somebody could hate somebody so bad. It sucks.
Yeah, I'll let that be the last word.
There were so many women and children here in the crowd that were just devastated and running scared, and we were just, and you can't help everyone. It's scary.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. Mr. Dufour, thank you for your observations, your insight, and talking with us. We really appreciate that. Once again, the conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has been shot during an event at Utah Valley University. 31 years old, the CEO and co-founder of the conservative youth organization Turning Point USA. In a statement, the university said a single shot was fired on campus toward Kirk and a suspect is in custody. Turning Point's chief marketing officer is telling CBS News that Kirk was shot in the neck and is at the hospital. She also said it does not look good. His condition at this point has not been made public, but that's all we know at this moment. CBS News has confirmed there have been threats against Kirk, who had his own security detail. Today's shooting comes amid a spike in political violence across the country. Motive for the shooting today still not known. If and when we get further updates on Charlie Kirk's condition, we will bring that to you. Our coverage will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news, and tonight on the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News Special Report. I'm Maurice DuBois.